Hello, this is just a quick screencast where I want to show you a simple trick in Lightroom. There's a lot of manuals and videos on Lightroom online, but sometimes I think they are a little bit over complex, and I think for this and for other Facebook groups, some of the tricks that you can do in Lightroom are so simple that they should be, let's say, usable by everybody. Um, I'm not a really Lightroom expert or Photoshop expert, but I think if you buy them, and it's like $10 a month or something, they can be of great value if you shoot RAW, and also if you just use 5 or 6 tricks in both programs. And one of the tricks that I think is very useful is I see quite a few questions about panoramas, and I just want to show you how I do it. If I'm in a pinch, or if I for some reason want to use a faster lens, for example. So this image I posted before is from a hotel in Athens. Clearly it's in Athens, and it's composed of 4 different pictures that I quite quickly took when I was drinking on top of the roof of the hotel. The shutter speed is, I think, a third of a second, so I was using a small tripod, um, and yeah, I wanted to stay in a lowest ISOs as possible, so I think this is at 100 ISOs, but we can look at it. So let's take a quick look. So this is kind of the final result. As you can see, I took it with a 15 millimeters, so 1.8, and we ended up at 100 ISO. And the nice thing about it, of course, is that it's the fastest, cheapest lens you can probably buy, so many of you own it. And the trick here is just to take multiple pictures and combine them. I just want to show you how to do that. So this is kind of the end result. It's far from perfect because, well, I can do lots more editing, but we are moving towards, so this was kind of the image where I started up when I joined them. So you can see that this is um, after I did more work on it and after I joined the 4 pictures. So let's look at the 4 pictures. I think there are 4 of them. So you can see they're quite dark because I fully assumed that I could pull up the raw file quite a lot. And you can see that I exposed the buildings, and I took 4 different pictures, right? So I knew I could join them up quite easy, right? So let's move there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the whole trick, so the rest is kind of introduction. So here you see the 4 pictures. I took more pictures, but of course, you can see the 4 I'm using here. And the only thing that you need to do is select them. You do that by holding down Shift, and then you can basically sort of select the ones that you want to join. And the only thing that you need to do is basically go into a merge photo, which is a new version in the new function in the CC version. There's now HDR and panorama. HDR is also very useful because it doesn't really create an HDR function, but it just gives you more latitude to edit in. So that's also very nice. So if you take a 3 bracketed shot and join them, also very handy. And the reason again to show you is just how simple it is. So it's now creating a preview. Also, you don't need like the fastest computer for this. This will take a few seconds for it to do. But I'm using this on a 2 or 3-year-old MacBook Air. So we are not talking about a massive amount of power. It's now creating a preview of the image. And there it is. Now you still have a few options. Sometimes, so this I was quite careful in using a tripod so you don't see any weird boundary wrapping that you need to do. But once you do your own picture and it's not perfectly aligned, make sure you fiddle around with this option, and then you can sort of make the boundaries automatically fill up so that you don't have to crop it. So if I do auto crop off, you can see what's actually happening, right? So you see there's still sort of the difference of the different pictures, but I can either use this, so boundary wrap, then it will pull it up like this, which looks fine to me. That's one thing to do. In fact, I might prefer it here. Or you can say, no, just crop the image so that it fits it will cut out what is available. So if I do auto crop, you will see that it just crops the image. Well, if I boundary wrap it a little bit or totally, let's go for totally in this case. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and then you can merge. You will see that it's now creating the merge, and we can wait for it, but we should get something similar to this picture, right? Not sure if you want to wait for it. I guess we can. Let's see what it gives out. I did it before, of course, and I got this picture. And while it's doing that, let's continue with this one. Now you see that between this picture and this picture, I did do quite a few of editing. Mostly I removed some stuff that I think, well, somehow in Athens they move really slowly. So they have been fixing this thing for years. And I already worked a little bit on taking some of the stuff out, right? You can see I did a poor job because I was lazy. But you can see that I already fixed it, and in the full view, I tend to take stuff out that bother me, right? So you see it here. I also pulled up the light and stuff like that. But that you can do that all later, and it is also Lightroom is perfect for that, right? So you can see that this picture, most of it is still in the let's say all the pixels were correctly, let's say, recorded, because you can see that the histogram is quite clean here and here, so I can pull up a lot of the stuff. So let's just quickly show you how much you can pull up and how you kind of got to this image. But you can quickly see that I can pull up way more. Whoop. There it goes. And you can see that I already got the light kind of similar than the others, so these are now quite easily exposed. Quite nicely. It's of course still calculating, and you can see what I did probably is make a mask and then play it with the light on top of it, so that you get a bit of a more like a blue sky. But this is kind of what I want to show you, how easy it is to merge different pictures together, and yeah, I think that's a good trick, especially if you're somewhere and you think, hey, this would be a nice panorama, but you don't really have time to either switch your lens, or for some reasons it's too dark, you need the speed to be able to take a good picture, both you have very little time or you need the speed of the lens. Just take a few pictures, put it in portrait mode, and then you end up with a pretty good picture most of the time if you do it in Lightroom. And also the resolutions will be quite high. So if you look at this picture, let me get the info from it. So this is actually a picture now which is 9,000 by 4,000 pixels, right? So I probably didn't flip it into panorama mode. In fact, I didn't, but I could have flipped it into panorama mode or in portrait mode, and then it would be 6,000 pixels by whatever, how many pictures you have taken, right? So it's also a very good way to get a high-res picture, so that you can either zoom in again, which is kind of anticlimactic, I guess, or you can just have a really high-quality print. And again, I just want to show you how easy it is to make a panorama in Lightroom. Again, it's only like 3 buttons, and then you're kind of done. So thank you for watching, and hopefully this will be useful for somebody. If you found this video and you want to know way more about how to use this and other features, just search or see in the related video, because I'm pretty sure there are 9,000 videos on this topic which tell you much more and much more information. But I wanted to keep it simple, just that you can see how to merge them up. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.